I had a couple people come in this week for consults, and they were charged with drug trafficking. And it was interesting because both of them told me, listen, Chad, I wasn't trafficking. I didn't have the intent to sell the drugs. It was for personal use. And I had to tell both of them, I said, listen, it doesn't matter why you had the drugs, if you were trying to sell them or not. When you're charged with drug trafficking, it's do you have enough drugs that meet a threshold amount? You can be charged with trafficking, notwithstanding why you had those drugs. For instance, if you have an ounce of cocaine, 28 grams or more, that's drug trafficking. It carries a 3-year minimum mandatory and a $50,000 fine. Doesn't matter why you had the drugs, if you were using it yourself or you were intending to sell it. The mere fact that you possessed a threshold amount of 28 grams, boom, you get hit with trafficking. Now, just because you're charged with trafficking doesn't mean you have to face the 3-year minimum mandatory prison sentence. You have defenses. First of all, we're always looking to see, why did you have a police interaction that drugs turned up? We can file a motion to suppress if there was an illegal search and seizure, and if we get the drugs thrown out, we can get the case dismissed. Another big one is a lot of times people are riding around in a car, maybe it's a rental car, and police pull the car over, a search happens for whatever reason, and they find drugs in the car. Just because there's drugs in the car doesn't mean that you have knowledge that the drugs were there. So if we raise a knowledge issue, that you didn't know the drugs were in the car, you can't possess something that you didn't know was there. So that's another way that we fight these cases. Another one is an entrapment defense. Were you predisposed to this type of behavior, or did the police trick you some way into trafficking drugs? So if we raise an affirmative defense of entrapment, we can resolve the case that way as well. Other times there's mitigation. We have to look at who you are, where you're at in life. Are there any issues that we can bring up to mitigate the sentence? As a matter of fact, we recently just closed a case. We raised an entrapment defense. It was a gentleman that had a few kilograms of cocaine, and it was a 15-year minimum mandatory, and we were able to resolve the case to 3 years probation. And just today, I closed a big one. It was another 15-year minimum mandatory cocaine trafficking case. I filed a motion to disclose the confidential informant in that case. The state did not want to burn that CI. They did not want to give up that person. It was too valuable. The state literally dumped the case and went from a 15-year minimum mandatory to 3 years probation. So we get really good results in these drug trafficking cases. There's a multifaceted attack that I bring when I handle these types of cases. Like I said, if you're involved in a case and you want to talk to me about it, click the link below, enter your information, and we'll have a free consult and we can talk all about it. All right? Thanks, and we'll talk soon.